The Bionicle story. Duck Bricks did an internal financial report from 2001 in-depth analysis. I'm interested, but I don't know if I can watch a 26-minute video breaking down a 2001 financial report from Bionicle. I just don't think I can do that, Duck Bricks. Let's check out the beginning.
Thanks for tuning into.
I'm not gonna watch this whole video. I'm telling you ahead of time.
Duck Bricks, I'm Chris, and today we are going to be taking a look at one of the most interesting development documents of LEGO Bionicle, never seen before until now. This is the Bionicle story. So what is this document? Well, I think the best way to describe this is that, let's say you're working on a job. I'm a program manager at Microsoft, so I've sent out a lot of emails that celebrate the launch of a new project and basically hype it up and say how good it's doing, how good it's selling. This feels and reads a lot like that. I haven't read it, but I did skim it, so I know what to talk about in the intro. And there is a lot of talk, very interesting talk in data analysis, on how well Bionicle performed compared to other LEGO themes, how well it was doing in particular markets. So it was like 20% of the Europe market, and then like 10% of Asia Pac. Europe North is 13%. It's a lot of crazy information here. And this is basically, from what I understand, an internal document explaining to stakeholders in LEGO, business stakeholders, what Bionicle was, why it was made, how successful it was monetarily, and what were their plans moving forwards into 2002. So this is a document that originated
like an internal corporate email about the Bionicle launch.
Near the end of 2001, which
how did he get this is the real question. That's an incredible get.
Kind of summarized how well Bionicle did as a major product launch. This is the kind of internal document that is crazy to me, that is so interesting, that never ever sees the light of day. Like, you will never see something like this be published anywhere except for the fact that Christian Faber.
So I mean, I used to write documents like this about at NVIDIA, like around launches. You know, how did our launch do? How many people responded to it? What was the and so it's funny. Can we see them? No, that's the thing, is because I don't get to keep them. It's not like I get to. I was surprised he got this. Like, an employee would have to have kept this, held on to it, and then
actually gave me 2 copies and told me to actually do a video going over them. So, first of all, thank you so much to Christian Faber for taking us out and actually showing us all these documents. I have made a series of videos, which you can find an entire playlist for linked in the description below, about our journey, about him giving us a tour around Copenhagen, about original Bionicle style guide documents, about original Bionicle story Bible.
Bro, Duck Bricks is the fucking Indiana Jones of Lego. He just travels the fucking world finding rare Lego shit. It's actually awesome, dude. He's got such an interesting...
And this is just one more that I find to be really interesting. And as always, I'll be reading this and reacting to it pretty much at the same time during the video as you all will be. I've done my best not to read these in detail before actually doing videos on them, so we can kind of experience it together. And without further ado,
okay,
let's jump in.
I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I want to watch the beginning. I just want to see.
Little to do with the lore of Bionicle and a lot to do with the financial success of Bionicle, because that's a story that LEGO likes. Okay, so here is the document we are looking at today. It is called The Bionicle Story. From what I can gather, this was an internal document within the LEGO group that was basically given out to employees that explained how Bionicle was impactful. I assume this was also given out to stakeholders. It's a little bit more, I would say, professionally put together than a lot of the other documents that we're going to see, which are purely internal, just within the internal team. This seems to be something that the marketing team or the sales team put together to basically just explain what Bionicle was and what they were planning on doing with it in the future.
I'm skipping
and as such,
ahead.
this kind of goes over
the origins of Bionicle. In 1997, LEGO Company established a project group to examine developing a product aimed at physically active boys whose attention span is somewhat shorter than that of our traditional consumers. Little ADHD kids. That's funny. Priced within reach of pocket money. Make the creative building values relevant to this segment of active boys by reducing building complexity. Because they were fucking easier to build, huh? They called them Slicer. The original thing was fucking Slicer, dude. That's so late 90s. That's such a funny, like, then they made Robo Riders.
Over the origins of Bionicle, how it came to Bionicle. There's a lot of interesting, like, I'm kind of really only reading this in depth.
I want to skip to interesting parts. Okay, I'm gonna just
story that was owned by the Lego Group, where it was an integral part, and
okay. Develop a story. Yeah, create a story in which Lego products play the primary role. That was smart. An epic story with a lifespan of at least 5 years and new chapters. Damn, this all was like planned from the beginning and it worked, huh?
They actually literally, there you can see, I did not know construction was being used this early, but construction heroes was literally the term that was used here, which is very, very interesting to see them actually use that word as early as 2001. And then they have these bullet points here. So they said lifespan of at least 5 years and add a new chapter every year. So I think
develop Bionicle into an IP. Yeah, they fucking did this.
Here. Now Lego does shit strongly.
The MCU could never, dude. This is so far ahead of the game. Storytelling is universally appealing to children. But stories are intangible. It's through playing with Lego products the story materializes, and children can physically play and work with the story as well as build their own stories. Interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, wait. For boys aged 7 to 12, Bionicle is the only collectible line of action heroes that combines a building experience from Lego with a continually evolving fantasy story. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, nobody else has the building experience from Lego. You really created your own category there. That, yeah, I guess you are the only one that has that because you are the Lego company. Did they ever make watches is a key thing here? They never made Bionicle parks. Bionicle music had a solid contribution to Lego Company's profitability. They did 10% of Lego Company's total turnover. 85% higher sales than originally budgeted. Pog. Big in Eastern Europe and the Americas. Okay. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Sales performance compared to historical bestsellers. Lego Life on Mars, Adventurers, and then Bionicle and Bionicle 2002. Way bigger. That's actually kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming these are still way smaller than Star Wars and the other license because it says non-licensing. But for like their own self-created IP, that's a fucking massive increase. It's actually really smart. It's actually really smart because I assume Lego is making their own stuff and selling kind of some, but their big sales come from licensing, the big IP. And then they realize if they make their own and get kids invested in it, they can make a huge fucking, take that big pie for themselves.
Of information that we.
That's smart. That's really smart. The average age of Bionicle consumers is 10 and 8 years respectively. Or you could be in your 30s watching on Twitch. That's also a big chunk of their audience. Watching 9-hour lore VODs. Bionicle beat G.I. Joe, Wrestling, and Gundam, but didn't quite beat Power Rangers. Get fucked over. Do you think that Bionicle makes Lego more talked about? Yes. More cool? Yes. More popular? Yes. More fun? Yes. More for kids like me. That's interesting. How cool is Bionicle? Bionicle is more cool than my favorite toy. That's funny. Wicked. Story, product, market. This is such a useless pyramid. Okay, but I mean, I get it. All right. They definitely did lean into this, though. I mean, like, they made the story include new villains, and then they would market them as cool. And then, I mean, and then it's all a team. Okay.
Atrioc, and it was not possible, not and drip feed.
That's interesting. Buzz of the toy industry. Duck Bricks, I'm so glad you found that. I'm glad, I kind of went through fast, but that's fucking sick.